Hey guys, the Chief Asch here today to continue our horror movie review marathon for October. So, here we go. Today, I am hitting on the film that came out earlier this year, The Conjuring 2, which, that franchise started off pretty strong, and then Annabelle essentially made it seem like that franchise was just straight down the toilet and never going to return. But then somehow or another, they managed to have enough money to. I guess Annabelle's a side project, so they had the money set aside probably. But The Conjuring 2 came out. The Conjuring 2. After watching Annabelle, I really didn't have any super high expectations. Annabelle, I had expectations pretty high because the first Conjuring movie, in my opinion, was very good, very fun to watch, and Annabelle had really good ideas that weren't super well executed, so it didn't, they barely could compare them. It was a neat little side story to, expound upon from the first one, but it just didn't work out. And when The Conjuring 2 came up, I didn't even know it came out, which was crazy because I typically always know what's in the movie theater, like to watch them and then talk to my camera about it. So that's the thing. So I had no idea it came out, and inside a conversation a while back, someone was like, "Oh yeah, The Conjuring 2," and I was like, "What?" And I don't know. I got it. So, and I watched it, and what the hell? Yeah, I missed that. That was... It was like... it was very... It exceeded my expectations greatly, because I didn't even know it existed. I knew it was going to come out eventually. I was hoping it'd be about the Amityville Horror, but they skipped that completely, which was my really only big complaint about the movie, is just the whole... because Amityville Horror is such a name. There was a million movies about it, what. And at the end of the first Conjuring, they set up the Amityville Horror, and I was like, oh, dude, this is sweet. The Amityville Horror filmed in this style. This will be really cool. I really like how they bring the Warrens in, and they're like kind of a central-esque character outside of the family. It swaps between them once the Warrens become involved. It's pretty cool. And then, in my opinion, that's a neat way to do it, and I was excited to see Amityville like that, and I was hoping that's where The Conjuring 2 was going to go with it, but then when watching it, I found out that we go ahead and skip the Amityville situation and go on to the Hodgson case. So it was kind of disappointing to me because I was really excited to see it, and they kind of, as Annabelle's story was in the first movie, they kind of do the same thing there with the Amityville Horror in this movie, but this movie, because it's not the Amityville, it's something you probably don't know as much or know as well as the Amityville. So I mean, maybe it was a better move overall, and it kind of gave a little bit of what happened in Amityville, but not enough. Probably just to throw it up there and see once the franchise starts dying off, and they want to throw a little movie out that will make money, will be Amityville Horror, which it's kind of sad that that's what it's going to come to, but. If we're going to see a movie in this franchise of that persuasion, it's going to be in that, it's going to be there. It's going to be, oh, we're almost out of money. We've, rode this dead horse until it stops spitting out money. This is our last ditch effort. Here we go. And it will make money, mark my words. But this movie is about the Hodgson case, which is about this little girl who she, by means acquires a little homemade spirit board, a Ouija board. She calls it a spirit board. And she, I guess, attracts the attention of a ghost that lives in her house. Some old man died there a long time ago, and then through the ins and outs of plot and whatnot, it turns out that there's a little more to it than your regular ghost haunting case. And It's neat in that, very interesting plot development. It's a little bit different than The Conjuring 1. The Conjuring 1 was just like, oh yeah, satanic witch, and this is what it is. And in this one, it's more like, there's a ghost, but there might be a demon, but the demon might be something that follows the Warrens around. It has plot complexities that just make it an extremely interesting movie. It's not quite up to snuff as Conjuring 1, but it's definitely worth a watch. It's very well executed. There's a couple weird spots. There's like a claymation CGI kind of thing that becomes a reoccurring element in the movie, but it's actually, the first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell? And then as it went on, I was like, actually, this is actually working. So it was a neat little art style, a neat little thing to add in to the movie. Completely out of nowhere, did not expect it. There's a couple parts in this movie where that's definitely a thing. Great dialogue, great acting, all the way around. It's a really entertaining movie. Another thing that it delves into, which is interesting, after the first Conjuring movie came out, I did a little bit of research into the real life Warrens and stuff like that, because it's neat. The Conjuring did a lot of things with the movie and the film, the way they filmed it. They worked in a lot of things from the real Warren's life. Like when it's recording in the first Conjuring, when it's recording Ed in like the basement and you're seeing it through the camera, like if I remember correctly, the audio is actually from the actual Warren case, and it's actually that all the audio like flubs and shit that's in the movie is actually what happens in real life. And they do that, and in The Conjuring 2 even, there's a little interview that's recorded, and then they play the real interview from the Warrens case at the end of the movie. It's really cool. That's really a cool thing to put in there, a little based on the true story, and then just actually throwing the true story at it. And a big element of this movie is the Warrens being considered hoaxes because of the Amityville horror and other things about that was a big thing in the 60s and 70s, that whether or not ghosts are real, and these people putting on these mass amount of hoaxes. It's much like our thing now, where people are walking around in the woods dressed as clowns. Yeah, it's just something that happens and will go away eventually. So whatever. But ours is creepier. But it plays on that, and it actually goes into the details. How like Lorraine's like, I don't really care if they think we're fakes. We help people. And Ed's like, hey, fuck them all. That's not true. We have to prove it. We have to find proof from blah 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 blah. And it's really entertaining to watch. There's so many little subplots and little extra things that goes into this movie, and it works out really well. And it's an enjoyable movie. It's great. It's a good movie. The franchise definitely goes Conjuring 2, Annabelle. Oh, this is down and over, so it's like even further away. But yeah, no, it's definitely worth to watch. Catch it as soon as you can. Watch it, leave some comments, and stay tuned for some of our other videos throughout this month. And I hope you enjoyed this. So, this has been the Chief Asch, and keep watching.